Nate Dogg. Boom. You know. Greetings from YouTubeville. Once again, Danny Savage, Draft Guru. If you like the video, sub, give it a like. It don't cost a dime. Yo, man, legit. This is my 4th video today. For the content creators that's like, there's dudes out there that no shit. Yo, my ears ringing, so someone's talking about me. I'm gonna go with the letter 14. So wait a second. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, N. Somebody with the first name N is talking about you. It's an Italian. When your ears are ringing, think of a number. Then whatever number that is to the alphabet, that's the person that's just talking about you. That's crazy. I said what 14 or whatever, but it came out to N and they talk. Yeah, I'm telling you, bro, the universe works in strange ways, man. And Nate Dogg actually jumped to the chat. I said 14, I think. Ironic. All right, this is Dallas. This is not my mock draft. This is just a mock I threw up. Before the night before draft day, I will put out my official what I would do. I just use mock drafts as a way of talking about people. It makes things fun. Next week, I have more ways to make mocks fun. It's just, it's a fun way, So since Stephen Jones, bag of shit, since he came out and said, oh, don't be surprised, we're trading back. I'll bet we're trading back, man. Yo, they never played poker, bro. Or they got a trade already worked out, but that's going to be contingent on the draft board. So long story short, this is mock draft 88. San Diego, they got on the phone with Dago, and San Diego gave us their 22nd and their 55th, which is the second rounder, and then they gave us a 5th rounder at 158 to move up for the 12th pick overall. I didn't even bother to look who they took. So Dallas drops back to 22, and we take Derek Harmon, One Tech, Michigan. No, actually, Oregon. Big kid. 6'5". Yo, listen, man. Let's be honest. Can we be honest for a second? Do you honestly think for 1 second what these kids get weighed in at the combine is what they walk around at or what they played at? Can we at least I got people saying, no, they weighed in at the combine at that weight. I mean, bro, you can't be that naive, right? Can you? That's like what? You never ask a woman what she weighs, right? You never ask a woman what she weighs, and you never ask a woman how old she is, especially if they're good looking. You don't ask them either of those questions. But, bro, this kid's a straight one tech. He probably played around 330, this kid. He just don't look it because he's 6'5". So he's definitely a big one tech that's going to go later in round one, in my opinion. And he had pretty decent production, 27 tackles and 5 sacks. Ironically, if he went to Dallas, he would be our biggest defensive tackle by at least 15, 20 pounds. All right, now at 42, Minnesota left tackle Arante Israel. Bro, this kid's just a I'm telling you, I don't know what they feed those kids up in Minnesota, but this kid is 6'6", 335, 330. He had 39 starts at left tackle, 1 at right tackle. He is just a huge individual. In my opinion, I think he's going to find a home in the NFL on the right side. To me, he's a right tackle in the NFL. I think he's going to get exposed, leaving him at left tackle in the NFL because from what I've watched him for the last few years, he's susceptible. Like when you set him up for an outside move, boom, and slam inside, especially if you got speed, like he overextends himself going out for pass blocking, and you can beat him inside. So he also has to work on his his footwork. But in my world, he is a right tackle, and he is a. I was going to curse. He's just a massive individual. Nate Dogg. So with that pick, do we keep Guyton at left tackle? Listen, man. I mean, we could. In my opinion, I think Guyton is just a right tackle. Uh this kid has, I mean, this kid has 39 games in college experience at left tackle, where Guyton had none, and people don't realize, man, Guyton got benched during the season for Adoga. Does anyone remember when we played Miami Dolphins, how Chuma Adoga looked? Bro, bad, that's a bad look, bro. That is a really, really bad look, getting benched for Chuma Adoga. So I would listen, man, in the perfect world, you're going to try this kid out at left tackle because that's where his experience is. But I just personally think he's going to be a right tackle in the NFL. That's just my 2 cents. I believe he was 1, 2, 3. I think he was my 4th or 5th rated offensive tackle. I gotta look real quick now. It's bothering me. It's on my page, but I'm selling my super secret Patreon. Nah, I'm joking, bro. Never. I think it's in my other book. It's my safeties, wide receivers, corners, tight ends. Tight ends, it's in this one. It's just bothering me. I want to see where I rank them. The linebackers, edges, offensive tackles. Okay. 5. He's my 5th rated offensive tackle. And ironically, I'm not a fan of him. This guy, dude, Todd McShay, he did a video. He's like, "Don't be surprised." I'm just not a fan of him in general, like his drafting. Uh, but he did a video that he goes, "Don't be surprised in 3 years if this kid is the best tackle out of this class." I would be shocked, but he's at 5. I think he's a solid right tackle. But I got Banks. I have Banks from Texas. I got Wyatt Mullen, I believe. Wyatt Mullen is still my one. I don't care. Banks from Texas, then Campbell. Those are my top 3 tackles. Honestly, you could exchange them either way. It's all what you want, what you like, what fits your scheme best. A lot of people don't realize that. A lot of plays are scheme specific also. At 55, I'm no joke. This is 88 draft. This is Dallas mock 88, and I think this is the first time I've selected this kid. Everyone loves him, bro, but Cameron Scatterbo, linebacker, Arizona Sun Devils, 5'11", 215. Listen, he plays bigger than that. I'll give him that. He's a tough kid. Very productive season he had. He had 1,711 rushing yards with 21 TDs. Then he had 45 catches for 605 yards and 3 TDs. So it's amazing. Like, he went off during the regular season, but yet nobody really talked about him until the playoff game he had. I forgot against who. It's just, and I can't, okay, how can I phrase this? This is not to mean to sound racist, and it's not racist because I'm white. Besides Christian McCaffrey, there hasn't been a white running back, a pure running back in the NFL for like 35 years. And people will say, "Oh, McCaffrey. First of all, McCaffrey was a converted wide receiver too. He played wide receiver in college. Did McCaffrey come out and go off for like 3 or 4 years? Yeah. And what happened to him? He broke down. Last year he had a million injuries, and until he can do it again, I'm not sold on him. But hey, Carolina got use out of him, and San Francisco got use out of him. You know what I'm saying? But Cameron Scatterboom, whatever you want to call him, I just think there are a lot of better, bigger running backs in this draft. But watch a team like, I'm telling you, remember this. Watch a team like Kansas City draft this kid. And then, like, all the fucking million Swifties in the world fall in love with him. And then he'll be like, I hate Kansas City, man. I really do. But listen, he plays hard, man. I can't take that away from him. And he's a threat. I guarantee you, if Bill Belichick was still in the league, he would draft 1,000%. Next is a kid that he was getting a lot of love. Then it cooled off a lot, but I mean, I don't think he's in my top 10. I don't think Elick Iamor, wide receiver, Stanford, 6'2", 210. He had a decent year. I mean, nothing great. He had like 63 catches for like 830 yards and 6 TDs. His claim to fame, he did have a better, like you said, 6'2", 210. He did have a better 2023. His claim to fame is he ripped Travis Hunter apart when he played him. That's his claim to fame. But Travis Hunter was going both ways. And I'm sorry, I don't think one game should make or break you. That's just my opinion. also, like a lot of times, players, especially good ones, they play down to the level of competition. Where maybe if Hunter thought he was going up against a monster, he'd be on point. It happens in this world, man. It happens. Like if you're playing a horrible team, and there's no curfew, you're out to 5 o'clock in the morning the next day. It's like, well, then you underestimate somebody, and they wind up having a decent game, or you're looking like an 8 instead of the 10 that you are. So that's his claim to fame. Nate Dogg. Yup, when we drafted Bossman Fats, the content creators were hyping up the game. He shut down Devontae. I know, right? There was a lot of Bossman Fats. We really wanted a safety. That's why I say Dallas don't play poker. 3 teams jumped ahead of us, took safeties, washed the board, and then I wanted the center, Creed Humphrey. He went to Kansas City from Oklahoma, all-pro center. But now we reached for Bossman Fats. And he had a lot of, that was like his second or third college. And like, he had a lot of off-the-field issues. That's just a wasted second-round pick, man. Yo, no joke, man. And this is really sad, but you can look it up. As Dallas, in the last 20, in the last 20 years, the only second-round picks we hit on, Sean Lee, Diggs, who's third? Sean Lee, Diggs. I'm trying to think. Yes, Tank Lawrence. Thank you, 1997 fan. Could we really say though? Like, listen, bro. I never badmouthed Jalen Smith ever because listen. First of all, if he doesn't get injured, he's a top 5 pick, and he was scheduled. They said he would never run again or whatever. A lot of YouTubers shit on that kid, but when you take someone who's already hurt and he worked his ass off to get back to where he was. And I know he wasn't the same, but the people that like made fun of him or whatever, I know he would do the swipe and shit, but that's just not right. It's not right, man. He still made his millions. He got paid, but he never would have. They were saying he never would have walked. And honestly, he probably never got over that drop foot. He probably still had it, He just wasn't as explosive as he was anymore. He was better than some of the other ones we had. Yeah. Yeah, no, you're right. You're 100% right. But it could go both ways, man. Like I said, he doesn't get drafted. He's a top 5 pick. Dallas fan, 1997. Still 3-4 players out of 20 years. It's pretty bad. Yeah, I know. We suck. We suck in round 2. We really suck in round 3. Our best rounds is, it's sad. It's like round 1, round 4. If you really think about it, we're horrendous. We're horrendous in round 2, even round 3s. Yet, I don't want to talk about Wilma Clay. All right, so now we got to wait a million years to pick again. 149, Jack Sawyer, edge, Ohio State. I'm laughing my ass off because people are dropping this kid because he didn't go to the combine and he didn't perform at Ohio State's pro day. Bro, Ohio State and Notre Dame played the game with what? Maybe 4 weeks before the combine? Does anyone honestly think, or could anyone look at me with a straight face and think any Notre Dame player or Ohio State player Even the ones that did show up at the combine or did pro days, you're going to look me in the eyes and tell me they're healthy? Where other kids had like 2-3 months to prepare for this. So I'm laughing like, oh, so you're dropping him just to me, he's a round 2 pick, borderline late round 1. But you're just dropping him because he hasn't done nothing. If you have concerns on him, if you bring him in for your 30 visit, you know, every team has an MRI. I guarantee you that. Dallas fan 1997. Jack Scheuer should be a second round. He got some talent. He has good talent, good production, good size, and he has heart. That's all I need, man. I think Brugler had him going to, I think Detroit, maybe. I could be mistaken. I can see Pittsburgh going after a kid like him. I could see Detroit. He's not flashy. He's just a blue collar kid. Gonna bring his lunch pail to work and give you good production and try hard player. Can't ask for more than that. Next is 158. He's a 3 tech. Aeneas Peebles, Virginia Tech. 6'1", 290. He's a 3 tech. Solid, not great. Like I said, man, me personally, Dallas needs more 1 techs. I'm just putting this out there to talk about more and more people. I'm at 88. I'll get to 100 by draft day. I'll definitely get to 100. Next kid is who's our defensive coordinator? Scott Eberflus or whatever, something like that. Matt Eberflus, so whatever. I can't even pronounce his last name. But this kid is a linebacker, Matt Eberflus. This is a Matt Eberflus special. He likes bigger linebackers, and that's evidently where he had Jack Sanborn from Wisconsin and Chicago. So we traded for him, I think. Or we signed him as a free agent, and then we traded for the Oklahoma kid, who I liked, who's just a little bit bigger from the Titans. So Eberflus likes bigger linebackers. This kid is Cody Lindenberg, 6'3", Kenneth Murray out of Oklahoma. I liked him coming out his year. But you got to realize, Kenneth Murray came out in 2019. 2019 to 2025 season in football years, that's like 10 years, so he has 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. He got 6 years of getting battered in the middle, bro, So do I expect him to be the linebacker he was at Oklahoma? No. Do I expect him to be the linebacker he was at the Titans? No. But Eberflus likes bigger linebackers. And at 174, Cody Lindenberg out of Minnesota, he's 6'3", 240, nothing flashy, 45 tackles, 1 sack, but he's solid versus the run. And I think that'll help us a lot more, especially the years where we had, Jeremiah Bell or whatever. Not Bell. It was Bell. We had 200-pound linebackers, man, that got pounded like bells inside, man, especially when we played San Fran, man. Next is a kid, 204, Kamen Rucker, North Carolina. See, this is what people don't get. There's a point. Now, this kid, very productive, 6'2", 265. He had 9 sacks. But there is a point in this draft where if you want an edge, the edges go from being 6'7", 6'6", 6'5", 6'4", to all your edges are on, you're looking at like a 6'2" edge. And all I'm trying to say is he's talented, 6'2", 265, 9 sack season. I don't think he's a fit with Dallas just because our edges are smaller enough. One friend just texted me, so I think someone made a move. I'll look at it later. So, but Cayman Rucker, North Carolina, is a name to look out for. At 211 is a kid that he's not getting any love at all. He's a little bit older. He's 24. Jaquavius Marks, running back, USC. HTM Sports, boom. I'm trying, man. I'm trying. I'm trying my best, man. I dropped 717 players, and this is Dallas mock draft. I don't even know, man. Like 88, I think, or something like that, man. I'm trying my best. But thank you for jumping in the chat, man. Appreciate it. Jaquavius Marks, man. No one's Woody. They called him Woody, USC. He's 24, but yo, 5'10, 210. Plays bigger. He had 1,132 yards, 9 touchdowns. But see, this is what I like about him. He had 47 catches. That's versatile. He, in my opinion, the days of the one back system, come on, bro. Most teams, it's a running back by committee in the NFL, you know? So no one's talking about that kid at all. I think he's a sleeper, day 3 sleeper. Next kid, 217. Not getting love, bro. Tough kid, bro. Baron Sorrell out of Texas, man. No one's really talking about him. He's an edge. 6'4", 260. Coming has he had a 6-sack season, but he plays bigger and he's tough versus the run. Tough kid that is not getting. I don't even think Dane Brugler had him drafted yesterday with the draft he put in, but his draft means nothing to me. At 239, this kid missed his coach by a year. I'll explain it. Nebraska tight end Thomas Fedone, 6'5", 245. He had 36 catches for 373 yards, no touchdowns. He's more of a blocker. His issue was Nebraska forever has been known as a running team. They brought in a passing coordinator, this kid Dana Hodgkinson, who was West Virginia's head coach. Then he went back to Houston, and he got fired last year. Because I think Houston went up to the Big 12, and he didn't take the step that they thought he was. But long story short, he brought in Dana Hodgkinson just as an offensive consultant. And then after this was like mid-season. And then after like 2 weeks, he just said, yo, boom, they gave him the offensive coordinator job. If this kid would have had a whole season under Dana Hodgkinson, his stats would be much higher. He has to work on his footwork, but he's more of a blocking tight end because I haven't seen, the deep threat out of him. But next year, I guarantee you Nebraska's going to put out a sick tight end. He's known for having he likes his tight ends. My friend actually was West Virginia started tight end when he was at West Virginia. Next kid's a kid, no one's talking about this kid. Nobody. I mean, nobody. Jaquindon Jackson, running back, Arkansas. Bro, 6'2", 235. He is the epitome of a goal line back. And he's a perfect candidate that you want. I want Jalen Walker. 805 Vaughns in the house. Okay, what do you think? What do you view Jalen Walker as, though? A linebacker or an edge? I remember Jackson when he played for the Utes. George is in the house. Give us some thoughts on Kobe Bryant. To call him. Did I talk about him earlier? Is that the one that you think Jalen Walker is a linebacker? I agree with you. I don't. He's in my linebacker group. I don't have him as an edge. Yet everyone has him as edges. I have Jalen Walker as my linebacker group. I remember Jackson when he played for the Utes. Let's get back. Baron Sorrell's legit. Kobe Bryant, DB. Who'd he play for? As a right now, it's ringing a bell. I'm not gonna just say he's 6'1", he runs this, runs that, because at the moment doesn't ring out to me. Uh, I'm listen. I'll be honest with you. I'm more of a safety guy. If I listen, I'll admit it. If I have a weakness, it's corners and quarterbacks. I hate doing quarterbacks. Quarterbacks seems to be everyone's weaknesses. But this kid, real quick, Jaquindon Jackson, Arkansas. He only had 149 carries, 790 yards, 15 touchdowns, bro. Perfect goal line, perfect change of pace back. You have the speedster, you have your third down, change of pace, running back come in. Then you have a kid like this. This is a perfect kid where you bring him in the Jayhawks, Kansas. Okay, I'll look him up. You bring a kid like this in the second half. You know how demoralizing it is in the second half when you're tired and you've been chasing around this fast ass running back the entire game, and then you see the team bring in a big monster. That is demoralizing, bro. And you're like, oh fuck, we got this big monster back there now, bro. Beside myself, I'm gonna be honest, and I'm not pat. Now I am. I'll pat myself on the back. This kid, Jaquindon Jackson out of Arkansas, I have yet to see anyone talk about this kid. Uh, I think it's a running back by committee league. I think Dallas has to come out of this draft with two running backs, and then also a third one you can get undrafted free agent. That's how deep this running back class is, and edge class is deep. And I've been saying edge class is deep for the last year, and how ironic Bleacher Report just came out with an article that they predict. I said 30. I predict 30 edges by the end of round 3, and Bleacher Report just came out and they predict 20 edges. Like I said, it all depends on who you look at as edge or linebackers, but it's a crazy edge class, man. It is, man. Crazy edge, crazy defensive tackle, crazy running back class. I love the tight end class. Safeties, there's good safeties. Corner, it's a little light. I think it's a little light at wide receiver, to be honest with you. Quarterback, below average. I also think at offensive line, you have some monsters. Then after like a certain point, it falls off a cliff, and then you have some sleepers. Though it's amazing. Back in May, I was talking Holland Pierce, 6'8", 350 out of Rutgers. I was pumping him in May. No one's talking about him. I think Dane had him in the third round, going third or fourth round. Big individual, 6'8", 350. He was he he plays for Rutgers. First 2 years, he walked on. He's 6'8". He walked on at like 450. He got down to 350. He started his first 2 years at right tackle, and then he started his last 2 years at left tackle. He's just a giant individual. And what's great about him is you could. I'm gonna drop videos on all these guys in the chat, but when he's walking on at Rutgers, he has his laundry bag, and it's funny. He has a Dallas Cowboy shirt on, to be honest with you. But he's a humongous individual, Holland Pierce from Rutgers, 6'8", 350. I think he's a right side only player, though, in the NFL. He doesn't have the feet to be the left tackle in college, but he held up in the Big Ten at left tackle for 2 years. So, but I view him, and I'm sure a lot of other people view him as a right tackle. Why do you think Dallas doesn't draft from the SEC? That's a great question. I have no idea, but Dallas, let's be honest, man. Dallas doesn't draft from the SEC. Dallas rarely drafts from the ACC either. It's like they like a lot of they like Big 12 a lot. The Pac, Pac 10 or whatever they call it, Pac 12. We don't even know how many schools are in there now because they have them jump to the Big 12. They seem to like a lot of Big 12 schools, and then some Big 10. They like us a little bit Big 10, and uh, a lot of small colleges, which I don't have a problem with small colleges. Just play, bro. I mean, I don't know. We have to blame our scouts. I'm going to be honest with you. You can Google who Dallas's scouts are, and you can tell. But Mountain West, yeah, they're famous. Utah, Boise State. How many years were we going with Boise State kids? Actually, there's a good kid, Hassan Ahmed, I think, an edge, a sleeper. No one's talking about him. Dane Brugel didn't even have him getting drafted, but he's an edge from Boise State that I'm sure Dallas will either sign as an undrafted free agent or take him in round 7. I think he's an undrafted free agent, but he produces. And he's kid's out of Egypt. He didn't start playing football until like his senior year in high school, and then I think 4 years at Boise State. So his best ball is ahead of him. Mountain West, yeah, definitely, man. Cowboys fan, 1997. We have drafted some good Mountain West players, though. Yeah, I mean, yeah, we have. They do. Don't ask me why they like Stanford. Stanford has put out some good offensive linemen. I'll give them that. Uh, Bob Whitfield, he was a monster. He played for the Falcons. David DeCastro, sick guard. He played for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I could be mistaken, but I think DeCastro might have came out the same year as Zach Martin or around the same thing. He's out of the league. He's retired already, but he played like 10 years. I loved him. He was nasty, bro. It's the scouts, but if you look at Dallas's scouts, you're going to see by their back names their dads either coached here or played here. I'll be the first one to say, whoever scouts LSU and Michigan, fire them. Fire them, because both schools have talent. We just don't pick it. LVE, bad neck. I would never drafted him. Skandrick, he was good until he started banging DeMarco Murray's girlfriend. And then things went wow, downhill. Gallup. I'm going to be honest with you. The contract we gave Michael Gallup, he would not have got that with any other team in the NFL. Not one other team would have gave him that contract. We're the only team in the NFL that throws, at the time, $60 million on a wide receiver 3, and he had one good year. And I think he came back, right? He signed with the Raiders, retired, and I think someone signed him. George Booney. Give me a sleeper wideout that can win Rookie of the Year that nobody is talking about. Also, this is good for fantasy football, bro. If you know your draft stuff, man, you can really. But you know what is? Back in the day, you can dominate fantasy leagues. But now with the internet, everyone gets to it, But a rookie wide receiver. I like LeJohntay Wester from Colorado. He had a good year. A kid that, perfect example, Dane Brugler put out his draft yesterday, and he didn't even have him getting drafted. I'm super high on this kid. Keandre Lambert Smith. He wasted 3 years at Penn State just because they couldn't get him the deep ball. This kid is 6'1", 190. Transferred to Auburn. He had 1 year eligibility left. Went to Auburn, and Auburn wasn't like a really, really great team. He had, I think, about 800 yards, 9 touchdowns. He eclipsed what he did in 1 year at Auburn than what he did in 3 years at Penn State. So he has the size, 6'1". He's 190. Yo, he has good hands. He can fly. Listen, I didn't have to even. I didn't. There's no need for me. There was no need for me to look at him at the combine. I knew he can fly, and he ran a 4.38. I don't care if he would have ran a 4.5, 4.6. He plays faster than that, and he plays like a 4.38. You get him. He's a sleeper, late sleeper. I like LeJohntay Wester, like I said, Colorado. Jalen Royals was a sleeper until Utah State, until I dropped him early in the season, and now he's second round pick, third round pick. I know Dane Brugler had him going crazy late, which I think he's nuts. Xavier Restrepo, Miami, bro. Think of the lineage of wide receivers that came out of Miami, and Xavier Restrepo has all the records. He ran a slow 40. He had tightness in his hamstring. I said all year, he ain't going to beat anyone in a 40-yard dash. He's just crazy, slippery, and gets open. In 2023, he put up 1,000 yards and I think double-digit touchdowns playing with 4 different quarterbacks. Then this past year with Cam Ward, Xavier Restrepo went off. Round 6, I don't see him going round 6. If he does, whoever gets that kid is getting. I'll bet money. If Bill Belichick was still in the league, he would take him. I called him the Spanish Wes Welker. He's either Cuban or Colombian. I'm not sure. If I was a betting man, which I am, I would say Cuban because he looks more Cuban than Colombian. And Restrepo is a common Cuban last name. I come from a Latino area. I've actually been to Colombia a few times back in my day, and I never met any Colombians by the name of Restrepo. But it is possible he's Colombian, but he's definitely Spanish. Everyone is clowning on Restrepo for his 40 time. Okay, but yeah, 100%, Nate Dogg, you're 100% right. But how many years in a row do we see the kid with the fastest 40 at the combine that breaks a record every year and they're out of the league in 2-3 years? Then there is football speed and there's track speed. And just because a lot of times combine numbers don't equal football production. For tape. That's number one, bro. I guarantee you all those corners that Restrepo was playing against in the ACC ran a hell of a lot faster than he did. He still found a way to get open. Look at Lamb. Lamb didn't run a fast 40. He was like a 4.57, CD Lamb. Best receiver in NFL history. That's what they say, not in my opinion, but Jerry Rice ran a 4.7. Michael Irvin ran a 4.7. You know what I'm saying? So there's football speed and, yeah, there you go, Dallas fan, 1997. Jerry Rice ran a 4.740. Telling you, Restrepo. Yo, I'm telling you, all year, I watched him. Like, that's why I don't understand when guys are like, oh, I got to watch 2 games on somebody. Like, what do you mean, bro? Like, how are you not watching football, bro? I'm telling you, bro. Not to like, I got no reason to brag. I'm a nobody, bro. I got like 300 followers. I'm just out here doing my thing. I'm already working on my 2026 guys. I got at least 35 guys already for 2026. So like the call-in show, because I'm gonna be honest with you, like it's college football was way too big to just pop up for 2 months and say, yeah, I'm a draft guy. No, I'm sorry. It doesn't work that way. And I'm a different cat. I walk to beat my own drum. Everyone knows I bleed blue and silver, but I'm a draft guy. Go Oregon Ducks. They're going to have a lot of dudes coming out this year. William Walsh in the house. Thank you for jumping in the chat. I'm telling you, I love Dylan Gabriel. I love him. But he's probably closer to 5'10" than he is to 6 foot. NFL don't like short quarterbacks. And I know Drew Brees did get a Super Bowl. But for every Drew Brees, there's 1,000 other. I'm your fifth like. Boom. Thank you, William. Thank you so much, man. I'm telling you, this is it's a 12-month out of the year draft channel. After the draft, we're going to be breaking down all undrafted free agents, and then by May 1st, I'll start back up. Nah, I'll probably back maybe May 5th, May 10th. I'll start up because my thing is like, if you watch college ball and you watch it a lot, and I love college football, but I look at it differently. But talent should stand out to you. Like I said, my weakness is quarterbacks and corners. I hate ranking both of them, but I do. And I mostly focus on the trenches, the linebackers, running backs, tight ends, safeties, both sides of the line. That's what I've coached also. So, but like, I throw out Mac players all the time. Subscribe too. Thank you also. Go Chicago. Yeah, listen, man. I just saw George before asked me about Tyler Warren going to San Fran. He wants Tyler Warren out of Penn State. And I'm like, that would be a sick pick. All you got to worry about is if you like Tyler Warren at tight end, you have to worry about him getting past the Jets. Then I see another mock where Tyler Warren went to Chicago. Yo, Tyler Warren would be a perfect addition for Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams is young. They have to. If you're a Chicago fan, okay, all right. Let's see how old you are. Ditkers, is it Big Ditkers or Little Ditkers? The Mike Ditkers. That's an old Saturday Night Live skit with the Bear fans. The Bears. Listen, I know the 2001 Ravens were nasty, man. I know. But for that 1 year, 1985, that was the best defense I ever saw, bro. The Chicago Bears. They lost one game, bro. And you want to hear something fucked up? I think they covered the spread, too, for like every game. And the one game they lost, I bet on them. I swear to God, I was like probably 7 years old. I was making bets, and I bet on them. It was a Monday night game versus the Miami Dolphins. But then I got it back with the Super Bowl. They were giving New England crazy. New England was getting like 15, 16 points. And everyone took New England. I'm like, nah, I'm taking the Bears. Your thoughts on Derek Harmon? I think he's a monster. I think he's a very underrated player. 6'5". He weighed in like at 320 at the combine, bro. He's a bigger player than that. Listen, combine weights mean nothing to people because honestly, you can manipulate your weight 20 pounds either way. Michael Irvin once said, I don't care what 40-yard dash you run. I care how fast you run in the fourth quarter when you're down by a touchdown. Same thing, like that's me, like with like the 40s. Same things like I don't care about the combine. I don't. To me, the combine is medical only. It's never, and the older I've gotten, it's become less. I just look at it and they honestly don't even release a lot of medical stuff, but combine, I think, is strictly medical. I'm 52, born, raised on the south side of Chicago. Yo, Chris Zorich, man, he was my man. had a great game against Colorado in the national championship game at Notre Dame. That's my era, bro. I'm telling you, we'd all cut our jerseys off, try to be like him. I think he went round 2 to the Chicago Bears. He was legit at Notre Dame. He has a podcast too, man. He went to the Bears. Yo, so you're around my age. You remember Alonzo Spellman, bro? I watched. He was a beast. He went not little. I watched him play in high school. Alonzo Spellman, man. He's Jersey. He's from Jersey, man. I watched Alonzo Spellman play. Mancoska Valley High School. He went to Jersey's All-Star game. Well, there's this few, but the big one is the North-South game. And I seen him play in high school. He was that, no joke. Alonzo Spellman was that big as a senior in high school. He was a nose guard, and then he went to Ohio State, was a beast, and he went like top 10 to the Bears. He did good, then he had some mental issues, and he was with the Cowboys, ironically, even. Deion Walker. I think he's Dallas fan 1997. I love Deion Walker. Here's the thing, though, with Deion Walker. A back injury flared up. All right. But it's nothing new. It's a back injury. It's a back injury he's had for 15 years. In 2023, he went off Deion Walker out of Kentucky. 6'7". He played, I'm sorry, especially if you go to the 2023 season, he was 350, 360 all day long. Yo, he weighed in at the combine like 335. Come on, bro. Like, he plays at 350 to 360. He lost weight. People lose weight, gain weight. But like when I was going back to, I'm sorry, I missed it, with the Michael Irvin, I don't care what you weigh at the combine. I don't care what you weigh the first week of the season. I care what you weigh week 17. I care what you weigh in the playoffs. Because a lot of guys can put on weight, they can't maintain it. Then a lot of guys too, which I can't understand, just fucking eat more, man. You're getting paid. Someone's dangling a contract over your head. Eat. I'd be fucking eating 12 times a day, man, if I had to put on weight. And versus the guys that got to lose weight too, yo, they're dangling that money on. You're gonna get fined. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, but my thing with Deion Walker is, and it's not bad. 6'7", 360. People his size should not move like him. He played 1 tech, he played 3 tech, he played stand-up 5 tech. Had a better 2023, but now we know why his 2024, he had a little bit of the downs year, yet he still had 5 sacks as his size because a back injury flared up. Here's my thing now. Now, I've had back injuries. I've blown over 10 G's on stem cell treatments on my back. Here's my thing. With him, he might drop. He is dropping in the draft. He went from being a first-round pick, second-round pick. Now they have him like round 4. So you're going to get value. My only recommendation to him as a young man, I don't care who drafts you. Do not get operated on. A back is going to flare up, especially what he has. It's not a disc issue. It's a part of a vertebrae. Yo, I'm sure it doesn't bother him all the time. So, first of all, there's a kid I would put on a pitch count in practice. If you want to play him in preseason, you can. I wouldn't. I know what he can do. And I would save him for the regular season. And there are going to be good years and bad years with a back. A back injury is like luggage. You got that shit forever. Never goes away. And I've never seen any person in my life that's had back surgery and they're like, look at me, I'm better. They're worse. There's a guy, Mark Schlereth. He played for the Redskins. He played for Denver. Stink, they called him, because he used to piss himself in the huddle. Long story short, he had 27 surgeries. He was a guard. He had one surgery on his back and then 26, his knees, his shoulders, ankles, everything. He already said, he goes, I'd rather do the other 26 all over again than that one back surgery. He goes, I was never the same. When Bill Parcells was here, the Packers had a guard, really good guard out of Penn State, Marco Rivera, Pro Bowl player. Bro, Dallas threw a big contract at him. Dallas signs him, free agent. You can't, it's like such bad luck, but like a month later, he hurts his back squatting, gets surgery. He like misses that year, came back, was a shell of himself. He even gave back some of his contract because he felt bad, bro. But the moral of the story with Deone Walker, if anyone is in his ears telling him to get operated on, get them out of his life. I would not. Because he's a young man. Like, how's he going to be when he's 50, 60? A couple years ago, there was a cornerback from Virginia Tech. I forgot his name. He was slated to be a top 3 pick. He hurt his back during the year and had surgery. And I said, don't touch him. Don't touch him. Don't go near him. Dallas liked him, loved him. I'm going back about maybe 4 or 5 years ago. And then someone took him, he went in the first round. He went at the edge of the end of the first round. He never did nothing. He was out of the league already, like 3-4 years. Even at a skill position. Backs get worse, bro. Caleb Farley is who it was. There you go. Boom. I said, no bueno, bro. Don't go near him. I forgot who drafted him, but he went late first round and he never did nothing, bro. But I hated football because I was small. You just got to eat more. Be surprised. I went to Mount Carmel. He was Donovan. Oh, where Donovan McNabb attended. Okay. Yeah, it's amazing. When Donovan McNabb got drafted by the Philadelphia, you got to go back to that draft. The fans booed him. They booed him out of Radio City Music Hall. But he turned out to be a good quarterback. I mean, well, who your college team, Danny? The U. I'm a U fan just because, like I said, I go back to when Jimmy was there. And Miami just had swagger, bro. Not only were they going to come into your house, beat the shit out of you, and we're going to talk about it. You don't like us celebrating? Stop us from getting in the end zone, bro. Miami players played with a chip on their shoulder, man. And so did I, and I talked a lot of shit too, but I was just, I remember there was a game, when Jimmy Johnson was at the U, Miami was playing Syracuse. No joke. It was like 52-0. Utah, nah, definitely not Utah. Utah has a good linebacker. I think he might have transferred, or but he stayed in. Landon Barton. Remember that name for next year. But he might have jumped in the portal. Who the hell knows? But he might still be there. But he stayed in. I know that. So long story short, Miami's beating Syracuse like 52-0, 55-0. And I watched Jimmy Johnson call 4 all-out blitzes in a row. You try to score on us, we're still gonna do our thing, man. And you got to get those young kids in the game too, man. I did, and it's ironic because it's completely different. I liked Penn State too. I liked Penn State, and also this is very completely different. Notre Dame, But I had a hard on for Notre Dame because a kid that went to my high school, 6'7", 330, he got a scholarship. Notre Dame came to the school to look at him, didn't even look at his tape. They just saw him and said, oh, his scholarship. Because our principal went to Notre Dame and he played for the Redskins. But long story short, he was a guard. He went to Notre Dame. He got cancer. And Lou Holtz took his scholarship away, bro. How fucked up is that, man? Sat out, did chemo, got better. Then he went to Maryland. And he got drafted by the Houston Oilers. And then he played for the Houston Oilers. And then they traded him to Tampa Bay. And he played for Tampa Bay. So that kind of pissed me, off. Like, but whatever. But I liked when Zorich was there. You had Stonebreaker, Bolcar, Demetrius Dubose, Tennessee, Reggie White. I love James Pierce, Dallas fan, 1997. Yo, he's just a little light, 245. He'll get there. He'll put on some size. James Pierce, I don't think no one is talking about him enough. But that's a name people are you're going to hear that name 2 years from now. He is a freak. He just needs more size. He's like 245, 250. It'll come. You got to realize, like, look at Markel Williams from Georgia. He's not even old enough to drink yet. He's 20 years old, bro. He's not done growing. Bro, like, it'll come. But if you're a Tennessee fan, and Dylan Sampson, the running back, I love him. Love him. I think he is so underrated. He's going to be a steal for whatever team he goes to, man. He can fly. I like Dylan Sampson a lot. James Pierce. Was Parcells overrated by Cowboy fans? Listen, man. I wanted to vomit every time I saw Bill Parcells on the Tennessee Titans. Okay, my bad. I wanted to vomit every time I saw Bill Parcells standing on the Dallas sidelines. It just didn't look right. That's like when Jimmy went to the Dolphins. It didn't look right. Like, how about if you saw Tom Landry standing on the Giants? It wouldn't look right. Ironically, Tom Landry and Vince Lombardi both were assistant coaches for the Giants, and they let both of them. Vince Lombardi actually coached high school football in Jersey. But Bill Parcells, listen, Bill Parcells had one day. First of all, Bill Parcells didn't even want DeMarcus Ware. He wanted Sean Merriman, number one, Bill Parcells. And he wanted Marcus Spears first. Thank God Dallas overruled him, and they took DeMarcus Ware out of Troy, and then they took Spears later on. I personally thought Spears was a bust. Jay Ratliff was a good pick, and Witten. But I can pull out a book and start writing horrendous draft picks by Bill Parcells. How about round 2? I believe James Martin, offensive tackle out of Boston College. He never played a single down for us. That was the year we took him round 2, and we took Doug Free round 4. That was that year's draft. We skipped over Steven Jackson, Chris Johnson for Julius Jones. Not in my world, bro. Not in my world. Drafted a couple of centers. I'm going to shut my mouth. Drafted a couple of centers, one out of Wisconsin. Bro, he had like one decent draft. Jason Witten was a huge pick for him. Yo, He wasted like so many picks on trying to find another tight end too. And where do we really go with him? But the only thing I will give to him is he wanted to switch from a 4-3 to a 3-4. It's not that easy. Not a lot of colleges run a 3-4 defense, but Bill Parcells did very overrated in Dallas. Very, very, very overrated. Had like one decent draft. Tennessee Titans, I mean. That's why I think he's overrated. He would not have seen. I agree with you 1,000%. I see, but now, honestly, like now, you say Sean Payton. I actually hear the Romo connection was Dallas's running back coach at the time, who played for Parcells at the Giants, Maurice Carthon. That's like he was an assistant or something at Northern Illinois. I believe that's where Romo went to college. And Parcells was like, Carthon was like, yo, you got to look at this kid. That's what I've read. Yo, Sean Payton, this is ironic. He coached for the Giants, got booed out of the stadium, was horrible offensive coordinator. Then he went to the Cowboys, was horrible offensive coordinator. He would coach on the sidelines, and you could read lips. Parcells would be ripping him apart. And then, ironic, he goes to the Saints and wins the Super Bowl. Who knew? Your thoughts on Talik Williams, defensive tackle, Ohio State? I think he's a little overrated just because he was surrounded by monsters. I'm really big on JT Tumaloa. Really, both of their edges. Him, Jack Sawyer was huge. I just think Williams is a little overrated. And he looked so great because he was surrounded by greatness, if that makes any sense. Where if you would have took him and let's say threw him on, let's say Illinois, like a bad Big Ten team, he wouldn't be getting the hype that he is. Oh, we had the punky Jim McMahon. Yeah, he was cool. I think he came out of BYU. I'm pretty sure. I think Jim McMahon went to BYU. Steve Young. See, like that's the thing. Peyton went to Eastern Illinois, just like Romo. Okay. Sean Payton. You're gonna laugh, man. I haven't dropped him yet as a sleeper. But Northern Illinois, how ironic would it be if lightning strikes twice? Does Northern Illinois, even this draft, has a sleeper quarterback, man? I haven't even dropped him yet. I think I'm at sleeper. I think maybe 39 already. I'll drop him tonight. Like I said, I'm just doing mocks and sleepers from now. Cover draft Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then boom. Undrafted free. Bro, there's gonna be you're gonna see a crazy lot of undrafted free agents, running backs, make teams, and contribute a lot. Listen, man, I apologize. We went too long with this already, but HTM Sports, George, William Walsh, Dallas fan 1997, George, everybody that jumped in the chat, Nate Dogg, thank everybody. Tonight, I don't know, we might be going back on tonight. I think fifth quarter, you guys, he has a good channel, fifth quarter Cowboys. He's good. Maybe Cowboys, somebody might go live tonight. Who knows? Might go live, but there's really just draft to talk about, And I'm just doing mocks and draw because I put all my rankings out there. I ranked 717 players, and I started in May of last year. Just like I'm actually probably like 35 players already for the 2026 draft. So Gotta know where the talent is. Thank you, everybody, for jumping in the chat, because we all know when you're rocking with the GWO for life. All right, I will. All righty. Have a good night. Good night, I'm saying. Have a good afternoon, everybody. Actually, it could be night somewhere.